Let's bring in Brigadier General Jaroslaw Strozyk, who is an adjunct professor. He is also previously served as the director of analysis at the Polish Military Intelligence Service. He joins us now from Warsaw. General, good to have you on the show. I want to begin by asking you about the Russian president's State of the Nation address there. As we just heard, he suspended Russia's participation in this New START treaty. Yes, on paper, this will obviously increase the nuclear threat, but do you think it's more posturing or saber-rattling?
Could be both.
Okay.
Good morning. Those statements by President Putin about nuclear arsenal and going out of the treaty, New START treaty, which is regulating the number of arsenal. That is quite important, of course. But on the other hand, Russia is not following other treaties since 2010, I believe, about limiting rockets that could brought its arsenal over 500 kilometers. So that's nothing new, and it's more saber-rattling than the real facts on the ground. And the whole speech was again the repeating stack of lies about West, about NATO, and the reality.
Mm-hmm. I want your analysis on the U.S. President Joe Biden's visit to Poland and Ukraine. He's just announced another round of military aid. I think this amount is about $500 million. I mean, when you look at sort of where we were a year ago, I mean, it all started with anti-tank Javelin missiles, then it moved on to howitzers. Now you have tanks. You can see the progression in terms of the evolution of the weaponry that's being sent. Where do you think this is going? I mean, do you think, if this conflict continues, we can see Western NATO fighter jets being provided to Ukraine?
That is possible. That is possible in upcoming months, from my perspective. And that's, you rightly mentioned, this increased number of of course, different types of armaments that are now being sent than a year ago. And I would call it simply a revolution from the very beginning, especially nowadays, the modern tanks, anti-aircraft systems, and that is much more needed. But I would say like that, we much more need the stability of those deliveries, especially of the rounds for the howitzers that you are showing now. And for the other armament, they need sophisticated tanks that could really battle quite sophisticated modern Russian tanks. So that's what we need, the stability of deliveries. And perhaps at the end of the day, on the cake, the real cake in terms of the full aircrafts capable to fight on above Ukrainian territory, also to defend Ukraine.
General, I want to ask you about China, and this is perhaps a country that is, especially in the last week or two, becoming a little bit more important. I think as we speak, Sergei Lavrov is expected to meet with his Chinese counterpart. We're seeing Ukraine as kind of become the test ground, the playground, or the test ground, I should say, for the U.S.'s two main geopolitical challenges. We know that China's preparing a position paper at the United Nations. Talk to us about how this relationship between Russia and China will play a role as we approach and enter the second year of this conflict.
It seems to be significant. Let's not forget that the visit, quite important visit of President Biden, which is still lasting in Poland, that his delivery and full support for U.S. and our side of the world, it's about 1/3 of the world and of the number of countries. So let's not forget about that. So on the other side, we have, of course, Russia and its allies. And it seems that the role of China seems to be quite critical, especially after last crisis of this balloon crisis with USA. Perhaps China could change its position. This visit of Minister of Foreign Affairs is very important, and kind of preparation for the possible visit of President Xi in Russia, and that could happen as it was indicated late April, early May. And that would be very much needed by that time by Russia. So yes, China is playing a crucial role, not only in terms of kind of moral support, but also in terms of equipment support, military support to Russia.
Okay, General Strozyk joining us now live from Wrocław. Thank you very much for joining us here in our continuing coverage. Do appreciate it. Thank you, sir.